Good morning, everyone. So, welcome to this week's topic. Our topic will be ratio and proportion. So, these are our objectives. First, we have to define ratio and proportion. Second, apply the fundamental law of proportion in solving worded problem. And the third one, appreciate the value of ratio and proportion by relating it to real life situation. Now, what is a ratio? A ratio is the comparison of two numbers or quantities usually written as fraction. But later, as we go along, you will learn different types of how you are going to write a ratio. So, for example, your school basketball team has won 7 games and lost 3 games. What is the ratio of wins to losses? So because we are comparing wins to losses, the first number in our ratio should be the number of wins. And the second number is the number of losses. So the ratio is, games won over games lost. So they won 7 games over 3 games, or 7 over 3. The word to separates the numerator and denominator quantities. So the ratio of 12 to 17 translates to 12 over 17. So our 12 will be our numerator and the 17 will be the denominator. So the unit ratio, the ratio with denominator of 1. So that's what we call, if the denominator is 1, therefore it is a unit ratio. So for example, we will go back to our example a while ago. So your school's basketball team has won 7 games and lost 3 games. So what is the ratio of wins to losses? 7. So we can, as I have said a while ago, we can write a ratio in different forms. So the first one, we can write it using column form. So 7 is to 3. So like this one. Another, we can write it using division form. Or this one, 7 divided by 3. Another one, we can write it using fraction form. So just like this example, 7 over 3. And the last one, we could also write it to phrase form, 7 to 3. So this is the 4 ways of writing a ratio: column form, division form, fraction form, and phrase form. Okay, what is a proportion? An equation in which two ratios are equal is called a proportion. So a proportion can be written using column form or column notation like this one. A is to B is equal to C is to D. Or as the more recognizable or usable. So this is what we are usually seeing in the books or other references, that the proportion is usually written in two fractions, equivalents of two fractions. So if we are going to translate this one, column form to fraction form, it will be like this one. A over B is equal to C over D. Again, a proportion, it is an equation in which two ratios are equal. Okay, when ratios are written in this order, A and D are the extremes. So A and D are the extremes or the outside values of the proportion. And B and C are the means or the middle values of the proportion. So if it's in column form, we have, so here B and C are means. So I know that this is just a review for you. A and D are hold the extremes. So if this is in column form, if it is in fraction form, so A and B, so you have to do the cross multiplication. So B and C here are the means, and A and D are the extremes. So means are the middle values, and the extremes are those the outside values. So to solve problems which require the use of proportion, we can use one of these two properties. The first one, the reciprocal property of proportion. So this states that if two ratios are equal, then their reciprocals are equal. The next one, the cross product property of proportion. So the product of the extremes equals to the product of the mean. So this is usually being used when we are going to solve ratio and proportion kasi mas madali siya gamitin compared this reciprocal property. So again, the product of the extremes equals to the product of the means. So for example, this proportion 3:5 is equal to 6:10, or 3/5 is equal to 6/10. So our means here, the middle values, the 5 and 6, so you are going to multiply them. 5 times 6, or 6 times 5, that is 30, and you have to multiply the extremes. 3 times 10, so the result is 30. Therefore, this is a proportion. Two ratios are equal. So what are the properties of proportion? So given that A over B is equal to C over D, where B should not be equal to 0 and D should not be equal to 0 also. Because what will happen if our denominators will be equal to 0? Okay, very good. It will be undefined. So, dapat si B at saka si D, hindi siya equal kay 0. So, what is the fundamental law of proportion? Again, as I have said a while ago, the product of the extremes is equal to the product of the means. So, that is if we are going to use this one. So, AD, or the product of AD is equal to the product of BC. We could also have this one. Given A over B is equal to C over D, we can have A over C is equal to B over D. So anyway, I will be giving examples in each of these fundamental law later. So number 3, we have B over C is equal to B over D. So we will be checking if this is correct. Okay, so number 4, A plus B all over B is equal to C plus D all over D. And the last one, we have A minus B all over B is equal to C minus D all over D. So let us have example for you to understand better this fundamental law of proportion. So you just have to familiarize the letters, their position. Example, 2 over 3 is equal to 4 over 6. So our A is 2, B is 3, C is 4, and D is 6. So let us check the fundamental law. Kung totoo ba that the product of the extremes or is equal to the product of the mean. So first, we have AD is equal to BC. So by substituting the values, we have A is 2, D is 6. So multiply them. 2 times 6, we have 12. And B is 3 and C is 4. So multiply 3 times 4, the result is 12. So therefore, the product of the extreme is equal to the product of the means. Correct. Next, A over C. Let us apply this one. A over C is equal to B over D. So by substituting, let us check if it's still correct. The product of the means is equal ba sa product ng mean, ng extremes, equal ba sa product ng mean. So we have A is 2, C is 4. So 2 all over 4 is equal to B over D. So our B is 3, our D is 6. So cross multiply, we have 4 times 3 is 12. 2 times 6 is 12. So correct. Next, we have D over C. So 6 all over 4, which is C is 4. Then B, 3 over 2. So cross multiply again. We have 6 times 2, 12. 4 times 3, 12. So correct. We have the fourth one, A plus B. So A plus B, that is 2 plus 3 all over 3 is equal to 4 plus 3 or plus 6 all over 6. So add 2 plus 3, 5 all over 3. 4 plus 6, 10 all over 6. So we have cross multiply. 3 times 10, 30. 5 times 6, 30. So correct. Number 5, A minus B. So 2 minus 3 all over 3. So all you have to do is substitute the values. So 4 minus 6 all over 6. So 2 minus 3, that is negative 1. 4 minus 6, that is negative 2. So copy the denominator, 3 and 6. Cross multiply. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And 1, negative 1 times 6, that is negative 6. So it's correct. Therefore, it's really correct that that the product of the extremes are equal to the product of the mean. So it's called ratio and proportion because it's called proportion because the ratios are equal. So in here, determine if the following are proportions. So try to check. So what we're going to do, we have to cross multiply if it's in fraction form. So 5 over 3 is equal to 60 over 36. So by cross multiply, applying the cross multiply, 3 times 60. What's the result? 180. 5 times 36, 180. Therefore, it is a proportion. The ratios are proportion. Next, 8 over 15 and 4 over 8. So 4 times 15, what's the answer? Okay, 60. 8 times 8, 64. Therefore, the ratios are not proportion. Okay? So solve the value of the variable applying the fundamental law of proportion. Okay, number 3 example. 4 over y is equal to 24 over 30. So applying the cross multiplication, we have 4 times 30 times 24 times y. So what is 4 times 30? 120. So copy 24y. 24 times y, that is 24y. So what's the next thing to do? Divide both sides by 24. So cancelled na ito. So 120 divided by 24, that's 5. So kindly check if it's correct. So our proportion now is 4 all over 5 is equal to 24 all over 30. So check if mag-cross multiply tayo, the result is the same ba or the product is the same. Okay, let us try this number 4 example. 10 over x is equal to 5 over 8. The solution. So 10 over x is equal to 5 over 8. So applying the cross multiplication, we have 10 times 8 is equal to 5 times x. So 10 times 8 is equal to 80 is equal to 5 times x is equal to 5x. So divide both sides by 5. Cancel. 5 divided by 5, that's 1. So, parang wala na siya. So, x, may 1 si x. So, 80 divided by 5 is equal to 16. So, our ratio in proportion now is 10 over 16 is equal to 5 over 8. Okay, I want you to try this one on your own. I will just be counting 10. Number 5, 3 over y is equal to 12 over 28. 8. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So what is your answer? Okay, the correct answer is y is equal to 7. Next, 6 over x is equal to 12 over 24. Just apply the cross multiplication in order for you to find the value of this variable. Okay, another 10 counts. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So the correct answer is x is equal to 12. Okay, let us try to solve number 7. So we are still going to find the value of the variable. So the proportion is x plus 5 over 6 is equal to 7 over 3. So still we are going to do the process of cross multiplication. So x plus 5 all over 6 is equal to 7 over 3. So applying the cross multiplication, we have 3 times the quantity of x plus 5 is equal to 6 times 7, 42. So applying what property? Distributive property. So we are going to multiply 3 to the quantity of x plus 5. So 3 times x, that is 3x. 3 times 5, that is 15. So we have 3x plus 15 is equal to 42. So applying the additive, you have to add the additive inverse on both sides of the equation. So the additive inverse of positive 15 is negative 15. So we are going to add that on both equations. So we have 3x plus 15 plus negative 15 is equal to 42 plus negative 15. So this one will be cancelled out since the result is 0. Positive 15 plus negative 15 is equal to 42 plus negative 15. So maiwan, we have 3x is equal to 27. So divide both sides by 3. So we have x is equal to 27 divided by 3 is 9. So our new proportion is 9 plus 5 all over 6 is equal to 7 over 3. So what is 9 plus 5? That is 14 all over 6 is equal to 7 over 3. So you check this one if the ratios are proportion or equal. Okay, let us have number 8. So our proportion is 4x minus 1 all over 3 is equal to 6x. 6x plus 1 is equal all over 5. So solution, again, apply the cross multiplication. So we can have this one. Okay, so 5 times the quantity of 4x minus 1 is equal to 3 times the quantity of 6x plus 1. So applying the distributive property, so we have 5 times 4x, that is 20x, minus 5 times negative 1, or times the 5 times negative 1, that is negative 5, is equal to 3 times 6x is equal to 18x. Tapos, 3 times 1, that is 3 times positive 1, that is positive 3. So we have 18x plus 3. So combine the like terms, we have 20x minus 18x is equals to 3 plus 5. So we have 2x is equal to 8. So divide both sides by 2. We have x is equal to 4. So this one, congruent angles have the same measure. So you know that already because we've discussed the idea of congruence last time. So the symbol, again, for congruent is this one. So similar figure. Figures with congruent angles are proportional sides in length. So we have two figures here. So the sides of the first triangle is 8, 6, and 10. The other one is x and 5. So find the missing length. So we have the large, as you can see, we have a large triangle and a small triangle. So large over small. So we have 10 over 5. So kung saan ang kanyang corresponding side. So 10 over 5 is equal to 8 over x. So we have 10x is equal to 40. So try to look at the illustration. So divide both sides by 10. So x is 4. Okay, let us try this worded problem. In a photograph, Ezra is 9 centimeter tall and her brother Keith is 10 centimeter tall. Ezra's actual height is 153 centimeter. So what is Keith's actual height? So we have to have an illustration to solve the problem. First, we have to identify Ezra's actual height in the photograph or in the picture. We have 9. Sa Keith naman is 10 centimeter. While Ezra's actual height is 150 centimeter, while we are looking for actual height of Keith. So applying the cross multiplication, 9 times it's 9x, then 153 or 10 times 153, that is 1,530. So divide both sides by 9, 1,530 divided by 9, so the answer is 170. Therefore, Kate's actual height is 170 centimeter. Okay, number 11. A barbecued spare ribs recipe that serves 4 people needs 1 kilo of pork spare ribs. If you want to prepare this dish for 20 people in a family gathering, how much pork spare ribs do you need? So, 4 over 1, because 4 people is to 1 kilo, is equal to 20 people is to x. So how much kilo do we need? How much pork do we need? So cross multiplication, we have 4 times x, that is 4x, 20 times 1, that is 20. So divide both sides by 4, so we have x is equal to 5 kilos. Therefore, you will be needing 5 kilos of pork for 20 people. Ken, try this one, number 12. The measures of the 3 angles of a triangle are in the 2:3:4. Find the measure of each angle. So solution. Let 2x, 3x, and 4x represent the measures. So you are going to add them and equate that to 180, since the total measure of the angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So 2x plus 3x plus 4x, that is 9x, is equal to 180. So divide both sides by 9, cancel. So 180 divided by 9, that is 20. So substituting the value of x in each angle. So we have 2x, so 2 times 20 is equal to 40. 3 times 20 is equal to 60. And 4 times 20 is equal to 80. So total, if we are going to add them, this one, 40 plus 60 plus 80, the total is 180. Therefore, the measure of the angles are 40 degrees, 60 degrees, and 80 degrees. I think that is for today. Thank you and God bless. And prepare kayo for our quiz. I will be sending the quiz sa inyong GC. Thank you very much. Keep safe, everyone.